What's up, fandom? My name is Josh, and today I've got a very special guest today. We've got Curtis Clow. How's it going, Curtis?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Thanks for coming on the chat. So first off, I have a very important question to ask. Were you team wheels or team doors?
I do not know what this question is referring to.
Oh man. Okay. So this will be a time capsule for everybody going back. So there was the whole wheels or doors debate. Like, are there more wheels in the world or more doors in the world?
I've never heard of this. Huh.
Oh my goodness, it's been taking the internet up by storm.
Oh man. So what team you on is like what you think there's more of in the world?
Yeah. Like, do you think there are more doors in the world, or do you think there are more wheels in the world?
Huh. I'm gonna say doors.
Oh man, it's the wrong.
That's a close one though, because I mean every car has like four wheels.
Every car's got four wheels. Every bike has two wheels, and
there's a lot of buildings though. I mean, think about like an apartment building. Think about how many doors.
Yeah.
Not everybody has a car. Third world countries, cities.
Yeah, but bicycles though.
Bicycles. That's true.
That's great. And there's a minutia that people get into. They go into like, well, there's Hot Wheels cars. And
those are wheels.
Yeah, like there's been
wagons.
There's been 7 million Hot Wheels cars, or 7 billion Hot Wheels cars created since 1967. So
wheels take it in that case. We're counting Hot Wheels.
Like, would you count that? Then it's like, well, you also have cabinet doors too, not just regular doors. You get It's a whole
blowing my mind. Doghouse doors. You got everything.
It's like I don't recommend you go down that rabbit hole. It is a whole thing. Just stay away. But Curtis, thanks for coming on again. We're going to talk about a couple of your comics, because you are a comic creator. Can you give us a little bit about yourself? What was little Curtis like, running around with your little like Sketcher light up shoes? Like what was Curtis like?
Little Curtis was a big fan of stuff like Pokemon, Power Rangers, all the good stuff from like the 90s, early 2000s, Digimon. And I was always creative. In English class was always my favorite, making up stories, but I just didn't really know what outlet it would take. I was always into art, drawing, painting. And then as I got older, I was trying to learn how to write, and eventually fell into comics and started reading them, getting obsessed. And that's when I knew that was where my creative outlet was going to go.
Nice. Okay. So you're liking the Pokemon, you're liking the Digimon, the Power Rangers, Pokemon or Digimon? Like if you were to get rid of one, which one would you get rid of?
It's a tough question. I mean, obviously Pokemon, I feel like they're like one of the biggest IP out there and much bigger than Digimon now. But I mean, back then I loved both. I love Yu-Gi-Oh also. And but I guess I would have to pick Pokemon, sadly.
It's a sad day. It's a very sad day. Curtis, we're not batting 1,000. Like
it's a rocky start. I know.
It's a very tough podcast to be on. I know. All right. So what were some of your favorite, like, were you into comics growing up?
Not really. I was always drawn to them, but I didn't know anything about comic shops. I didn't know where to get them. So like I would randomly like pick up a random Spider-Man or Wolverine comic. And I guess I just didn't know enough about that world and how to like research it. But there was definitely like a pool to that world. I just didn't know, how to find them until I got older and started reading Image Comics and getting into the whole indie world and Kickstarter and stuff.
So like Image Comics, like getting into like Saga and
big fan of Rick Remender's, all of his stuff, Deadly Class, Black Science, a lot of high concept stuff. As like a lot of my stuff is either sci-fi or fantasy, so I'm usually drawn to any like high concept stories.
Nice. So you've got the comics, so you're big into like the cartoons and everything like that. Were there any like movies or anything that you watched and you were like, you know what, I want to write something like this?
I mean, I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan, so like all of his stuff, but I don't necessarily know that I'll ever make something that's as, he's always got these crazy twists and mind-blowing stuff. So it's definitely inspiration, but I don't know, my stuff is very different, I feel like, than his.
Well, I mean, when you do the twist that Ping is actually, the king's daughter, so it's like that's going to be a crazy twist that no one's going to.
That's a good one. I'll have to keep that.
So yeah, let's go ahead and kind of go into Beastlands. So thank you. I got all 5 of the copies currently out. So very excited. Read them all. Very good.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about Beastlands.
So Beastlands is a action adventure fantasy story. I don't like to compare my stuff to other stuff, but it's obviously very influenced from Pokemon, Digimon, these like monster type IP.
I mean, I was waiting for Renzo to start talking. Like I was like he's gonna start talking. It's gonna be like some Garurumon action up in here. So
Yeah, I tried to put like an original twist on that. It's influenced from my own experiences with my dog getting hit by a car, and she survived, but it took like a lot of extra care. So it was about trying to, put that like human and pet bond into a story. So that's kind of how the world of Beastlands came about. And it's a world where some people have companion beasts, not everybody has one. And it's about a boy that has to save his beasts and friends before a king tries to execute them all.
nice. And so yeah, so you've got your keepers and you've got your companions. So what there are definitely some reasons that some people have the keepers and some do not. Like what is like in your mind, since you are the creator, like what are some of the reasons like why somebody would have a keeper?
Yeah, so there's definitely some rules to the world, and in volume one, you're referring to like somebody says like you have to go through a hardship to have a keeper. But that's just like one. I feel like in this world, I try to make it so like different locations have like these different mythology about how keepers work and stuff. So in volume two, you hear somebody else say that only the strong and brave have keepers. They just have these kind of like tall tales about why you have a keeper. And I don't want to give it away yet, like why some people have them, but there's definitely like I try to keep some of the stuff a mystery instead of like over explaining all of the world building. But for now, we're just keeping it as like different locations have these different kind of myths about why they exist. And later on in like volume three, you'll get to some people who worship them as like gods and stuff.
Nice. So with Beastlands, you've done some Kickstarters to get everything, up to how like on your Kickstarter, how far did you guys get in order to, publish?
Yeah, so we've done.
That was a really weird way to phrase that
No,
sentence.
I understand it though. So we've done Kickstarters for up to issue 7, and we're still creator owned. Dark Horse doesn't own the IP or anything. It's still co-owned by me and the artist Joe. And we still have the freedom to kickstart issue by issue. So for now, we've started doing 2 issues at a time just because Kickstarter takes so long and it's so much work to print them and ship everything. So we just did the Kickstarter for 6 and 7 last summer. Those copies are almost here. And then late this summer, we'll be kickstarting issues 8 and 9. And so yeah, we'll keep doing Kickstarter. Like Dark Horse isn't paying us for production or anything. So if we want the series to continue, we still have to keep funding it through Kickstarter ourselves.
Gotcha. So you've got Dark Horse coming out. So they're putting everything in a nice little graphic novel. So issues 1 through 5.
Yep, volume 1 through 5.
Nice. Will like how exactly does something like that with Dark Horse work? Like, do they wait until you get issues 6 through 10 and then possibly do another one, or how does that kind of work out?
Yeah, so we've had this deal in place for a while. Like we signed the contract like before the pandemic, so it's been quite some time, and they were just kind of waiting on us to get issues 1 through 5 done on Kickstarter, and then the plan was always to have them put out the trade. And being creator owned, like I want to keep telling the story. I think it's a cool world we made, and I have like ideas for up to like 5 volumes. So I just want to keep going, and we have the choice to do that. So we just started on the 2nd volume already, and I think for them it all depends on sales and how well this volume does to see if they'll publish volume 2. But I mean, hopefully it sells well and it gets a good good reviews like critically and stuff, and they'll want to do volume 2 as well.
Nice. And so I mean, you guys go to cons and everything like that. You were at LA Comic-Con this last year.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I didn't go because I was afraid to make that that trip out from Oklahoma, because I was like like the Delta variant's going on, or Omicron. I don't even remember which one it was. Like that one's going, and I'm like, ooh, maybe we wait a little bit. But how have cons or the lack of cons throughout the pandemic did that make it a little bit more difficult to kind of get the word out about Beastlands?
Yeah, I mean, cons are, they're really important, especially for like a newer writer like myself. I quit my day job right before the pandemic as well to write comics full time, and then pandemic happened, and there's no more cons. And cons are so important for like networking. Mm-hmm. That's how we got this Beastlands deal with Dark Horse, was just from at a convention meeting the editor, and they dug it all. So it sucked to like have no cons for almost 2 years, but now that they're back, it feels good. LA Comic Con was packed. I didn't get sick, so nobody around me got sick. So just gotta stay safe with masks and everything. I went to San Diego, Ontario, and California, and then LA. And LA was definitely like just felt like back to like normal things for that convention.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I went to LA Comic Con 2019. Like, okay, so I moved to California tail end of 2019 because I was like,
Okay.
hey man, it's great. We're gonna move to California. It's gonna be fantastic. Gonna network. We know people at DreamWorks. We're gonna make stuff happen. All these different cons and stuff. And pandemic hit, and it's just like, well, there goes. That's all gone.
Just killed the dream.
Oh yeah, had to move back. It was like, ooh, well, there goes that savings. Like, ugh. So with these cons and everything, like, is there a con that you want to go to that you haven't been able to go to yet? Like, what's like your pinnacle of cons?
I mean, you just want to go to one that's more comics focused. So I went to Rose City back in 2019. That one was a lot of fun. I haven't been to Emerald City yet, or C2E2, or New York. I heard New York's really good.
Yeah,
I almost made the trip for New York.
New York's
yeah, hopefully I can get there this fall. Hopefully. I got WonderCon coming up in 2 weeks. Nice. That's like I live in Orange County, California, so that one's pretty close to me, and that's a pretty big show. So that's cool.
I was out in Tustin, so basically nice. Irvine area. So yeah, I was right there.
Yeah. I went to San Diego Special Edition this past fall. Yeah, and that was like my first time ever at the San Diego Comic Con, which it was a lot toned down compared to like a normal San Diego. They didn't have all the normal programming. But hopefully I can get to the regular San Diego this summer, and nothing else happens with variants or anything to ruin this. But San Diego and New York probably be, in Emerald City would probably be like the top ones coming up that I would like to get to.
Nice. What do you want people to kind of like take away from Beastlands?
Appreciate what you have before you lose it. It's kind of about a boy who doesn't truly appreciate his keeper and his friends, and they're at risk of being taken from him if he doesn't change his character.
Nice. Now you also are doing another Kickstarter.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about Slightly Exaggerated.
Slightly Exaggerated is another fantasy adventure. It's about a dying girl that has to steal back a sacred gem before a crazed cult leader tries to kind of change the world with it.
Just normal high school stuff.
Just normal stuff. It's a 4-issue series. It's a mini series. We might do another volume 2 after that. But me and the artist Pies Bach, we have 2 issues left, and he's working on issues 3 and 4 now. But it's a fun fantasy series. It's more like a whimsical world where there's like flying sea creatures, flying whales, just a bunch of like, for that one, we just went all out, just crazy with it.
Nice. Any other comics that you are currently working with?
Yeah, I launched a new fantasy series called Majestic in this past December. That one we kickstarted the full first volume. That one's about a shape-shifting girl who's kind of like this force spirit. And then I have one other sci-fi series called The Wild Cosmos. That one will be published by Scout Comics soon. Nice.
So you've got the Kickstarter. We're going to put all the links to the Kickstarter below. Definitely check out Slightly Exaggerated. Get those perks. Definitely do that. So let's kind of go into a little bit more comics. So we got the fun stuff out of the way. So let's talk about the boring stuff. So what do you have currently? I mean, so I know you didn't really grow up, with comics and everything like that. Are there any comics that you're currently reading, like on any like platform, like either like digital or physical?
Yeah, always reading stuff. I mean, you got to save a little time for reading. Like otherwise, what's the point of creating them? But most of the time goes into making them. But I read Step by Bloody Step by Cy Spurrier and love that series. It's kind of it's like a wordless series, and it's by him and Mateus. And I love the other book they did called Coda. That was by Boom, and this new one's by Image. But it's really well done. It's there's no words or anything, but just the storytelling and the art is just beautiful.
That's nice. Anything that you've watched recently that you like? Basically, I'm trying to get around. Have you watched The Batman yet?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna give you free reign to basically write a comic, anything. So it could be Marvel, it could be DC, it could be Image. If you wanted to do Sandman, you could do Sandman. Whatever you wanted to do. What is like your dream comic? Or if there's one that you're that's brewing up here that you just haven't been able to, start writing yet, is what's your like ideal comic?
Well, I mean, creator-owned comics is my true love. So like that's I would always pick something creator-owned and something original. But if I had to pick something licensed, like um, obviously a Batman comic would be cool. But I like things like Avatar: Last Airbender. That'd be a really cool
Nice.
license to write with. Cowboy Bebop would be cool. What else is
What about
there?
Mummies Alive? Would you ever consider writing for Mummies Alive?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for anything. It's a creative challenge, like the way I think of it when you're writing like these licensed characters and licensed stories. Like it's just a creative challenge that you have to work with. So it'd be fun to write anything like that. But Avatar or something like fantasy, like a Pokemon comic, Digimon comic, I'd be down for that.
Would you rather write a Pokemon comic or a Digimon comic?
This is the hard hitting questions, man. We'll say
Yeah.
Digimon because
Okay.
Digimon doesn't, they don't get the shine that Pokemon does.
Yeah, I was like, man, if we're gonna have to cut this short, I mean, I'll do it if he chooses the Pokemon. But I mean, oof. Yeah, no, yeah, I've big, huge Digimon fan. So, what are you doing in your free time? I mean, I know you've got all the comics and everything like that. What are you doing in your free time, or is it
Just
free time?
there's free time a little bit. Most of the time is you're just thinking about stories 24/7 and packaging books, writing books. But in the free time, playing a lot of video games, playing Horizon, was it Horizon Forbidden West? Really loving that. I played Sable before that. It was an Xbox game. It was really good. So just playing some games, watching some Netflix. I'm horrible at watching shows and stuff. Like it takes me so long to finish, but I finished Arcane. I love that series.
Nice.
Watching 1883, that kind of Western
The
series.
Western one. Did you watch Yellowstone?
I did not, but
Okay.
I was told to watch 1883 and that you don't have to watch Yellowstone. And, I haven't seen any Yellowstone, and 1883 is great. So, definitely don't have to have seen Yellowstone. I really love the game Red Dead Redemption 2. So it's like the story feels very similar to that. And that just made me love Westerns now.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I mean, I've been kind of on the fence on 1883 because like I watched Yellowstone. I got all the through those seasons, and oh boy, it gets up there sometimes. So that I was a little bit hesitant on 1883. I was like, is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be a lot more? I mean,
Yeah, no, I'm halfway through
it.
and I think it's great. I recommend it.
Okay, awesome. Anything else that you're like super into right now?
I think that's it. I wanted to see Batman again in the theaters. Like I never see movies twice in theaters, but I love Batman so much that I definitely want to see that one twice.
Nice. Favorite part of Batman?
I mean, I just think overall, like the whole tone of it, that kind of darker, brooding tone, the fight scenes felt realistic. But I guess the favorite part has got to be that Batmobile scene. That was pretty epic.
So good.
It was good. It was really
when
well
it
done.
first comes on and it makes that like jet engine screech, it's like, ooh, that's good. Spoilers for Batman. It came out like a couple months ago. So all right, okay. I'm gonna go Batman just because we're here. Mainly, we're recording an episode tonight to date this episode. We're recording an episode tonight on the Batman, so just trying to work through some stuff. What would you want to see, in like the second Batman film? Do you want to do Battison again, or do you want to, new Batman? Do you want to?
No. He was great. Like, I haven't seen a lot of his other stuff, but he was a great Bruce Wayne and great Batman. So surprisingly good, like much better than Affleck was. But so we can keep him. We can keep him around. He was good. I thought Christian Bale was a really good Batman too. But I've been rereading Scott Snyder's Court of Owls, and I feel like that would be really cool to put in a second film. I was surprised they already teased the Joker. Like that's so hard to live up to Ledger, but I mean, hopefully it's well done. So far, everything that this director and this cast, it's all been good. So
yeah, like I'm in that same vein. Like I would love for them to do a Court of Owls. I would also like for them to not do Joker next movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's been done
like,
so many times.
It's a long con for us. It's like, yeah, we showed Joker. We're not going to put him in the next one. He'll be in like the third one.
Yeah, that'd be cool. No, there's so many good villains in Batman. Like I feel like Mr. Freeze, even like after Schwarzenegger way back then, like you could redo that so cool. You could see some cool stuff with like Clayface or something. There's so many good villains in Batman that they could play around with in this world.
You're just like we're on the same wavelength. That's my two is like my Battinson 2 is Mr. Freeze.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Do like start the Court of Owls, and as it's building and he's starting to figure things out, and then the third one, then you're gonna go full Court of Owls, and you're gonna have the Joker, and that's gonna be your tension. So you're gonna build up two movies, and that's how you do. I also I'm in probably a very small camp. I want him to put Robin in. Like I want a young Dick Grayson, not a 27-year-old man.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Like if it's well done, like they could do it. I would like to see. I mean, I thought Catwoman was really well done in this movie. Did you like that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Curtis. So if people want to buy a copy of Beastland or Slightly Exaggerated, where can they do that?
So Beastlands will be out with Dark Horse on June 15th in comic shops, June 28th everywhere else, bookstores and everything. And then we'll have another Kickstarter later this summer. Slightly Exaggerated, that's on Kickstarter, launching this April. And that'll be for issues 3 and 4. And then you can always contact me if you want to buy off my site or anything.
Nice. Well, Curtis, thank you so much for coming on. Go ahead, give us all your socials, plug anything that you want to plug.
Yeah,
I mean, you've already plugged. So I mean, you know, Arcane season 2 coming.
No, Arcane. Did you like Arcane, by the way?
Yes, I loved Arcane.
Yeah, beautiful animation.
I like like the different animations in there that they would do. Like there was that one episode, like the opening, I think, of episode 2 that was really kind of almost like a music video. And again, all the different like the animation styles that they put in that, like there were some really nice shots in there.
Yeah, for the Beastlands animation, you know, that'd be a very cool style for that Beastlands animation Netflix show. No, you can follow me at Curtis Clow on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page, and yeah, Beastlands with Dark Horse this June.
Nice. And we're going to put links to all of Curtis's social media. It's going to be in the show notes. We're going to put a link to the Kickstarter and a link to where you can purchase on Amazon. Definitely go to your local comic shop, order Beastlands, support your local comic shop. But yeah, thank you so much, Curtis. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. Find the podcast on Instagram at What's Up Fandom, on Twitter at What's Up Fandom PC for podcast. All of our episodes available: iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, Spotify, Audible, anywhere that you can download a podcast, and on our website, animationstationpodcast.com. Thanks to 1 out of 10 for the intro and outro for this episode. And Curtis, again, last question. I know you've had a little bit of time to ruminate on it, but doors or wheels?
All right, this is the question. We're gonna go. I said doors earlier, and now after I've ruminated on it, it's still doors. Think about every car has 4 doors. All
right, so bye everybody. No, thank you so much, Curtis.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
I'm not the leading authority on waxing poetic or using big words, but this writer is my philosophy about living in such a world. Yeah, you and I got a life to live, so what's the point of